Okay, the lesson today is on completing the square. So make some notes, write down the lesson objective, keywords. When you're ready, write starter, and we'll move into the starter then. So hit pause, make your notes. Okay, so 3 examples. Hit pause, attempt the questions. When you are ready, hit play again and we'll go over them together. Okay, so question 1. State if n squared plus 1 is always odd, always even, or sometimes odd and sometimes even. Well, let's look at that first part. Here. N squared. Whenever you square a number, what happens to it? 1 squared is equal to 1. What about 2 squared? Is equal to 4. 3 squared is equal to 9. 4 squared is equal to 16. So we've got odd and even terms. When we add 1 to them, plus 1 we get 2, plus 1 we get 5, plus 1 we get 10, and plus 1 we get 17. So we're going to have sometimes odd, sometimes even. So we've got 4 examples there. You always want to make sure you have a minimum of 3. Question 2, we've got to factorize and solve. So we know we're going to have double brackets for our quadratic here, equals 0. And there's no coefficient on the x squared, so it's just going to be x times x. Then we take our minus 14. So minus 14, looking at the factors of minus 14, that can combine to give us 5. Okay, I'm going to look at 2 and 7, which is great. One of them is going to be negative because it's minus 14. Because it's plus 5, it's going to have to be minus 2. Because 7 minus 2 gives me my 5. So x minus 2 and x plus 7. So that implies then either x minus 2 equals 0 or x plus 7 equals 0. One of them has got to be equal to 0 because 0 times something will give you that 0 there. So that means that x is equal to 2 or x is equal to minus 7. Good. And on question 3, we've got 3.4 times 10 to the power of 5 divided by 200, which is also 2 times 10 to the power of 2. So if we do the numbers first, 3.4 divided by 2 gives me 1.7 times 10 to the power of, and because we're dividing, we subtract. 5 take away 2 is 3. So what I want you to do now is RAG rate your work, write down any corrections that you need, and when you're ready then hit play again. So hit pause, RAG your work, make your corrections, and then you're ready, hit play again. Okay, so we're looking at completing the square. It's another way of solving quadratic equations instead of using the factorizing or using the formula. It's also, so it's a very powerful tool. If we look at these 2 questions here, x squared plus 8x plus 16, we want to factorize this. So we've got our quadratic, so that's going to lead us to 2 brackets. It's x squared, so it's going to be x times x. And then we got 16, so we take our 16 here and look for the factors of 16 that can combine to give me 8. And 4 times 4. Okay, the clues in the squares there, we're looking for perfect squares. They're both going to be positive because it's a positive 8, so plus 4 and plus 4. So the solution is repeated. Oops, let's put an equals there, which means it's equal to x plus 4 squared. Okay, let's look at this one here, x squared plus 10x plus 25. Again, we go for our double brackets. and it's x times x, and we got 25. So we're looking for the factors of 25. Again, we're looking for these square numbers, 5 times 5. Okay, so plus 5 and plus 5. Oops, forgot my equal sign, which means that's equal to x plus 5 squared. And that's known as a perfect square. Now, we can demonstrate this, okay, actually using a square. So if we have an x here, we're looking at the first example, x squared plus 8x plus 16. And it's x plus 4 squared. So x plus 4 times x plus 4. So let's put up x plus 4 there and put the other x plus 4 here. Okay, so that's, if we completed that, we'd have a square. Now, if we break it down, you can see that this square here is x times x. So that's x squared. This rectangle is 4 times x, so that's 4x. This one is also 4 times x, so that's 4x. And this square here is 4 times 4, which is 16. So you can see that's x squared plus 8x plus 16. And that's why it's called completing the square. Okay, x squared plus 8x plus 16. I think it's fantastic. Let's have a look at this square here. So that's going to be x plus 5 times x plus 5. And we can complete our square there. And let's break it down. So we've got your x times x, which gives you x squared here. 5 by x, 5x. Again, we've got a 5 times x, so that's 5x. And here we've got 5 times 5, which is 25. So we've got x squared plus 5 and 5 plus 10x. X squared plus 10x plus 25. It's fantastic. Okay, good. So I want you to make some notes. You don't have to draw the diagram. You can if you want to. So hit pause and write the examples. We'll call this example 1 and example 2. Good. So, yeah, hit pause. When you're ready, hit play again. We'll look at another example. Okay, so let's have a look. We can write these two new examples. We can write them also as perfect squares. Oops. So let's factorize. X times something and x times something here. Now we've got 4, but it's a minus 4 it gives us. Now we're looking for our perfect square. So it's going to be 2 times 2, which is the square root of 4. But they both have to be negative, because minus 2 gives us minus 4. So that's minus 2 minus 2. So our perfect square is x minus 2 squared. And on this one, let's get our double brackets ready. We've got x times x, because there's no coefficient in front of the x there. So we look at our 36. What's the square root of 36? Since we're looking at perfect squares, it's going to be 6 times 6. However, it's a minus 12x, so they both have to be negative. So x minus 6 and x minus 6, which means our perfect square, x minus 6 squared. So write these examples down. Example 4 there and example 3. Hit pause. When you're ready, hit play again and move on. Right, two more examples. Just going to call this here we want to factorize again, so that's going to be equal to, open our brackets, but we're looking for perfect squares, which means I need the square root of 2.25. Need the square root of 2.25. Now, 2.25, sorry, let's just look at 225. What's the square root of 225? 15. So the square root of 2.25 is going to be 1.5. So we've got x plus 1.5 and x plus 1.5 here, which our perfect square, x plus 1.5 squared. Let's have a look at this one here. X and x there. And we look at that 6.25. Now if I look at 625, what's the square root of 625? 25. 25 times 25 gives you 625. 2.5 times 2.5 will give you 6.25, which is what we're looking for here. Both positive, so plus 2.5 and plus 2.5. So this works also for decimals, and our perfect square is x plus 2.5 squared. I'd say maybe write just one of these examples down, either one, they're very similar. And then when you're ready, hit play again. Okay, so these are more typical questions you'll get. X squared plus 4x. Now, they haven't given us the constant term, so we've got to determine that for ourselves. So we can say x squared plus 4x, that's the same thing as, I think I can write it just here. I think I've got enough room. So that's going to be equal to, same thing as x squared plus 4x. Now we take this 4, the coefficient of x, what we do is we add 4, but we halve it, so 4 over 2 squared. But because we're adding this constant, we have to take it away again, otherwise we're changing the term. So by adding a number and taking it away again, we're not changing it at all. So that's 4 over 2. So you can imagine, if I had x squared plus 4x plus 4 minus 4, those cancel, so I haven't changed it at all. So that gives us x squared plus 4x plus 2 squared, which is 4 minus 4. Now, if I look at that first part, I'm just going to put brackets around here. I can complete the square on that first bit, so I can find my perfect square. That's going to be equal to x plus 2 squared is my when I factorize it, minus 4. So that's my solution for that one. I'll just rub that example 3 out there because it's in the way. There we are. So it takes a bit of getting used to. It's very new. So to that end, let's try a second one. I'll just get rid of that example there. Okay. Back to the pen. So same sort of thing here. X squared plus 10x. That's the same thing as x squared plus 10x. Now I'm going to take that 10 and halve it, so plus 10 over 2 squared. But because I've added 10 over 2 squared, I've got to take it away as well again. Minus 10 over 2 squared. I need that 10 over 2 to complete the square, you see. So that's going to be equal to x squared plus 10x plus 10 over 2 is 5. So 5 squared is 25 minus 25. So you can see those two cancel each other out, which means I haven't changed the original equation really. So let's put a bracket around the first part of that equation so I can complete the square. I can find the perfect square then. of this term. That's equal to, if I factorize that, look at the factors of 25. This 25 is 5 times 5. So that means I've got x plus 5 times x plus 5, or x plus 5 squared. But don't forget the minus 25 there. Okay. So that's called completing the square. Let's try this one here. Example 3. So we've got x squared minus 6x. So that's going to be the same thing as x squared minus 6x. So we take the 6. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, we just take the 6. So it's plus 6 over 2 squared minus 6 over 2 squared. Okay, that's going to be equal to x squared minus 6x. Now 6 over 2 is 3. Okay, so 3 squared is plus 9 and minus 9. So let's put brackets then around that. And then we can find the perfect square for that. Just change back to red. So that's equal to, now I want to factorize that. Let's do it in full. I've got x times x, and then I've got my plus 9. I've got 9, let's do it at the top here. So I've got that 9, square root of 9 is 3, 3 times 3 gives me 9. However, it's a minus 6x, so both of these have got to be minus. So minus 3 times minus 3 gives me my 9, but minus 3 gives me my 6x, so perfect. Minus 3 and minus 3, don't forget the minus 9 on the end there. So we can write x minus 3 squared minus 9. So hopefully you're getting a sort of flavor for it. All we're doing is we take the coefficient, halve it, then square it and subtract it. Okay, so let's try this one. Example 4. You just got to take your time because this is brand new. So it's x squared minus 12x. We take the 12. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. We just take the 12. So it's plus the 12 over 2 squared. And because we've added it, we've got to take it away as well. Minus 12 over 2 squared. So that's x squared minus 12x. 12 over 2 is 6 squared, so it's plus 36 and minus 36. So I'll just get my blue pen back. And so that's equal to, if I factorize that, I think we get the gist of it now. The x, the square root of 36 is 6, but it's going to be minus 6 times minus 6 because we've got minus 12x there. So minus 6 squared minus 36. Okay. So those 4 examples. What I want you to do now is to make some notes. I think you need to write them all down. So hit pause, copy those down. Once you've done that, hit play again, and we shall move on. Okay, so these are more typical exam style questions then. So we got to complete the square. Let's have a look at this one first, example 1. X squared plus 4x plus 3. So we can write x squared plus 4x. Now we take that 4 exactly as we've been doing before. So it's plus 4 over 2 squared minus 4 over 2 squared. And don't forget there's a plus 3 there. We never forget that constant. Otherwise we get the wrong answer. So that means we got x squared plus 4x, 4 over 2 squared, so it's 2 squared, so plus 4, minus 4 plus 3. Now, this is why I use the a different color for my brackets, because this bit here, I can write a perfect square for that. Oops, where's my pen gone? Oop, I'm going to change color. Let's go back to red. So that's equal to, if I factorize that, yeah, it's x plus 2 times x plus 2. So it's x plus 2 squared. And then go minus 4 plus 3, so minus 1. And that's job done. Okay, so we've got to look out for the constant. Just be careful. Let's try this one. Second example. Oops. Let's have a look. So that's equal to, again, x squared plus 10x. Then we take the 10, the coefficient of x, and we halve it and square it. So plus 10 over 2 squared minus 10 over 2 squared plus 15. So that's equal to x squared plus 10x. 10 over 2 is 5, so 5 squared plus 25 minus 25 plus 15. And change color, we go blue then. So that means we can put brackets around the first part of that equation. And back to red. So factorizing that, the square root of 25 is 5. So we got x plus 5 squared. And then we got minus 25 plus 15, which is going to give us minus 10. Job done. So hopefully it's coming together now. Let's look at example 3. And for this one, it's going to be equal to x squared minus 2x. So we've got minus this time, but it doesn't matter. We just take the 2. So it's 2, half of 2, 2 over 2 squared minus 2 over 2 squared plus 10. That's going to be equal to x squared minus 2x. It's going to be 1 squared, so plus 1 minus 1 plus 10. Change color. And we're going to factorize the first part. Change back. So that's equal to, well, it's 1 times 1. So it's going to be x and it's minus there. So x minus 1 squared. And you got minus 1 plus 10. So that's going to be plus 9. Okay, one more. And we've got x squared minus 12x. Then we take the 12, just the 12, plus 12 and we halve it, 12 over 2 squared minus 12 over 2 squared minus 1. So that gives us x squared minus 12x, 6 squared, so plus 36 minus 36 minus 1. And just changing color of my pen here to blue. And back to red. So that's equal to, if I factorize that, what do I get? So the square root of 36 is 6, so it's going to be x minus 6 squared. And then minus 36 minus 1 is minus 37. So that's how we complete the square. So I want you to hit pause, copy these down, and when you're ready, hit play again. And I've got 4 questions for you to have a go at first. Okay. Okay, so these are 4 questions I want you to try. So hit pause, have a go. When you're ready, hit play again, and we'll have a look at what you've done. Good. Hit pause, off you go. Okay, so check your solutions. Check your workings, make sure they're correct. Okay, good. So hit pause, check. When you're ready, hit play again. And I got 8 questions for you. Right, 8 questions. Hit pause and have a go. Okay, so check your answers. Okay, good. Hopefully they're okay. Rag them. And a couple more questions and you're done for the day. Okay, and there's your classwork. Good luck. Thank God it's Friday.